You've been hearing me talk about Runix for a while, probably, if you're watching this video, but today I'm going to show you something that is, I think, one of the last pieces we need to really get done before we can start rolling this out to some projects for like alpha kind of testing. So pay is, my example thing that I'm using. I've got this Runix file here that's got some basic configuration and then a bunch of like extra attributes overridden. But in a newly generated application, I would expect the Runix file would look something a lot like this. So this presents the problem that's so common with this kind of configuration scheme, which is like knowing what you can configure and how to type the words to make that happen is challenging. So we need some kind of discoverability feature. So what we've done is built this thing called Runix option, and this shows you a list of all of the available options. This is introspected over your current configuration, so it actually shows you the current values as well. So for example, that Shopify Pay Runix file sets a get pre-commit hook. So if we type get pre-commit, we'll see it right here, and you can see the path is listed here as aspect.gethooks.precommit, which is what you type to set it. List of paths is the type, and then some documentation. It installs a pre-commit hook. The example, I need to fix this up a little bit, but it's meant to be this literal text. So setting the value to scripts precommit.bash. The value is currently in the actual evaluation of the module system for the pay repo. The current value is this file, so this is truncated because it's being shown in this preview, but if I hit enter, it gets shown on the shell, and then you can see the value of that option is this file. And the default is empty, which kind of makes sense. The default project doesn't have any pre-commit hooks. That option is declared at this path within the Runix source, and it's defined in our ru.nix file. So you can, chase those down and see the kind of like nearby configuration if you want. But another thing to show you here is, so Runix has a bunch of options and will grow presumably many more over time. But if we look, for example, at project.name, this is an option that we expect and actually insist that our projects define. And it's got this documentation here, but project.dir is an internal thing. And you can see, first off, the green changed to yellow here, and it's marked with internal, but we still document it. And this is because, I guess users could still set this. We may add some like linters to verify they don't, but this is also useful for writing Runix itself, seeing the available internal options, because internal options maybe you shouldn't be setting in your project config, but it's very necessary to set them within Runix itself. So this could make Runix development easier too. I'm still playing with the interface a little bit here, whether we should even show internal options. Right now I've kind of compromised and shown them grayed out with a little marker internal, which kind of should communicate to developers that they shouldn't use them, but we'll see how that goes. So this is kind of one part of it. I like this kind of like live interactive documentation that shows you the current values in your configuration, but I think another important part of this is going to be some kind of web-based documentation. It's like probably fairly clear from looking at this that we could generate this into some kind of like HTML format and put it live somewhere too. We just haven't done that yet. Similar module systems like Home Manager have this kind of thing, so we could build this sort of output within probably just a couple of hours, and then make it a lot prettier in several more days. But yeah, this is totally doable too. So figuring out what the best user experience here is the real trick, but this kind of like introspection over the module system and presenting this documentation is totally doable, and in fact done and shipped. So that's I guess all I wanted to communicate.